I'm live. I'm back. Hi, everyone. It's Michelle Crawford, and I'm back again today at 3 o'clock. And some of you were waiting for me. Mwah. Thank you. I appreciate you. Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and get our puff on. I am so ready. Look at that. We are going high. We're going high. Hi, everybody. I'm looking at the chat today. I see Renee. I see Kirsty. Hi, you guys. Woo woo. Let's do it. All right. I know some of us are missing dinner, so let's just get going with it, right? Bless you, my people. All right. Today, oh my God, were your minds blown? Can you believe I even said that you don't even need dosing math? What am I even talking about? How is that even possible? I'll tell you. But first, I wanted to demo my Canna-Kit because I think that this is like a really interesting idea that I want to share with you. Out here in California, a lot of the best companies have been providing medicinal cannabis in the form of a tincture, an oil based tincture that you can drop into your mouth like so. And, the very, very best of them, the ones that, are really doing the good out there, it's not just THC or CBD alone. We're finding that the very best medicines that are made with cannabis are multi-cannabinoid, meaning they're having more than one cannabinoid in them. And that means that, like, it's upon us, I think, to copy that. I get a lot of inspiration from the commercial market here in California, where I am blessed to see so many innovative products and to have had legal medical cannabis in action here helping people for, since 1996, for decades and decades. So some of the companies that have been providing medical cannabis tinctures to people and FICO and oils and RSO have a lot of experience finding out what works and what doesn't. And so when it came time to make this Canna-Kit, which I'll tell you all about, and convince my family to take cannabis with me, I really was inspired by the California marketplace. So we're talking about some companies like Rosette Wellness is a company out here owned by Harry Rose that I think is really on top of it. They have blends of THCA, CBDA, CBGA, and sleepy time blends with like CBN and THC. They've been mixing it up and they've been keeping track of the good it's been doing their customers for years. For years. You can go to their website and see this huge chart of like issues that people have, diagnoses, and then which of their products has helped people the most based on customer reviews over decades, people. Awesome stuff. So that was my inspiration. Oh my God. It's so funny when the chat is blowing up and I can see the movement out of the corner of my eye. I also want to share with you guys that I was inspired by this morning. We had some talk on the Cannabis Chit Chat about Wonder Woman. Check out my eye makeup. We are doing the red and gold. We are inspired by Wonder Woman. That's right. Uh-huh. We are Wonder Women. We are miracle makers. We are kitchen witches. We are sorceresses. Let's make some medicine, people. All right. So the very first thing you learn in uh, homemade health is how to make these tinctures that I'm talking about with concentrates. Remember yesterday when I showed you the Source Turbo and I told you that I made this 1 milliliter syringe of FICO of CBD with it? Well, this is it's a 3 milliliter syringe, but there's only 1 milliliter left in it of THC. So what we're going to do with these is put them into 2 bottles here and make what I call instant tinctures, right? This is what's glorious about, so here's all the rest of the CBD sitting there. This is a glorious, glorious thing. The very first thing I ever did in cannabis was basically this. I bought some concentrates at the store. This is MCT oil. You know what? Don't judge me. Don't judge people on their oil, okay? I know that MCT oil is not everyone's favorite, that it does sometimes, upset people's stomachs, but it was what I had. And so you go with what you have when you're in that position. A lot of people like avocado oil, olive oil, oils from fruits and seeds, but this is what we have right now. So I'm just filling up this little 2-ounce bottle with this oil here to show you something really fast and easy that you're pretty much going to die. Kirsty, are you ready for it? Because I know that you show this to your friends and they just die. We're used to, if you're a cannabis DIYer, you're used to busting out flowers, decarbing in the oven, getting out the foil, getting out your double boiler, doing the stuff, putting it on there, melting everything down, mixing, standing over the stove. Stuff is smelling. Now you have to strain in maybe a bag or something. You've got to strain. Straight oils everywhere. It's on your hands. You've spilled. It's just a mess. Or CBD. This is just plain oil. This is some extract that I made here at my house. I showed you yesterday. Da, da, da. Oh my God. Becky, look at her tincture. Okay, I'm having a little bit of a hard time like putting it in there because I didn't like warm it up and this stuff is just super gooey, but I hope that you get the idea. This is a demo for the purpose of like making a point. And the point is your DIY doesn't have to be so hard. I'm here to tell you there are ways to make it easier. And this is one way. My mom was like, "You're cheating. You're not even like getting anything dirty." And I'm like, "That's right. Don't get anything dirty at all." Okay. So there are some problems with this in that like it's not like mixed up right now. But if you can get this tincture, oh, it's so sticky. Really need to warm everything up. Warm everything up. Don't just do it cold, but what else? It still will work. Okay. Look at how sticky it is. Look at that. It's coming out. Come off. All right. The thing is that you can take this now, put it in a cup of warm water, shake it up. Eventually, this will homogenize and you've made a CBD tincture. Good on you, right? Easy and fast. Like, do you need it now? Do you need it now? Is someone coming over that you want to give this to and put in their hot little hand because you love them? And this is your moment. Enable yourself, empower yourself, embrace concentrates and the convenience of them. I'm getting on a soapbox. So yeah, here it is. This is lesson number 1. And you know how much I did this in my own life to make weed lube that made my UTIs go away? A lot, because the product that I was replacing this with was $80 an ounce, people. $80. And that was expensive. And I was having plenty of sex and using it up. Do you know how much this is? It's like practically free. It's ridiculous. Okay, it's not totally free, but it's so much less expensive than $80 an ounce. And I got nothing dirty. And I made it instantaneous. Okay, I'm going to look at the chat. I saw so much going on. Wonder Woman, yes. I have my invisible lasso. Oh my God. Too much work. Oh my God, that's right. So powerful. Love it. The savings are ridiculous. Oh. All right, everybody. So that was CBD. And guess what? You can do the exact same thing with THC. The exact same thing. And with any concentrate, like all those concentrates that I mentioned yesterday, if you don't get FICO and all you can get is like dabbable concentrates like butters or hashes, guess what? They totally work the same. Decarb them first and then add them to your oils instantly and quickly. This is the power. The power of concentrates can be yours. I have the power. Okay. But let's go on to like, number 2. So THC and CBD are what I think are the basics of a cannabis regimen for day and night. So this is another aspect of the Canna-Kit. THC for nighttime and sleep and relaxation and pain management, CBD for daytime and, being more focused and everyday health. Combine them at different ratios to meet your needs. And you have a basic Canna-Kit. This is what I call a mini or a basic or just like what people need to get by. If you give this to somebody, that's a lot of love, if you ask me personally. But you know what? There are better basics. I just gave you the whole spiel about multi-cannabinoids and how much better they are for you. Well, there's a reason why my blends are called trifecta and exacta. If you know anything about what those words mean, they are typically used in racing, horse racing. These are bets, people. This is my best bet for your health. When I was formulating these, I was planning to give them to my most beloved people in my life, my family, my parents, my husband, my children, the adult ones and stuff. And you know what I mean? Like my aunties, my uncles, my cousins, people I love. And the problem is with so many people in your life, it's great and everything, but you start to realize the cannabis approach where it's like which strain is yours and how should you do it, and everything needs to be very personalized. It's hard to make personalized medicine for like everybody. So I started to think, how can I make one thing that helps everybody? And it ended up being the Canna-Kit. This is my one thing that helps everybody. It has THC and CBD in it because that's the basics. And if that's all, then that's a mini Canna-Kit. It has trifecta and exacta in it. These are the best bets for your health. Trifecta has THC. I call it the THC day blend. Exacta is THC free, but it has CBD, CBG, THCA, CBDA, and CBGA in it. And this one has all of that with THC included. These are your better basics. You make them in week 3 of class of Homemade Health with me, and I teach you how to make them with flowers. I'm going to go over that in just a second. Better basics get you through the day and night with more cannabinoids that support you better and make a huge difference. THC and CBD are great, especially if it's from your own full spectrum harvested flowers and you saved a lot of money that way and you're getting the best of everything. These formulas with more cannabinoids are even better, an even better bet for your health. And then this one over here is reserved for sleepy time, which we're not really going to talk about today because I couldn't put it together. But sleepy time is a multi-cannabinoid blend also that is focused on helping you get sleepy. Da-da-da. All right. Let's talk about how to make the trifecta and exacta formulas, which I have other videos about here on my channel, and you will make in my class with flowers. Here's another cool idea. This is a bonus that I offer in my class. I have the power and you have the power. Oh my gosh. So another thing that happened when I was on my come up of becoming who I am today was that some people were like, oh, I gave them these bottles, I gave them a Canna-Kit and they liked it. And then they maybe ran out of trifecta or whatever. And they were like, oh, I just want, maybe I just want to try making it myself. And I was like, okay, how can I help you with that? This is what I came up with. So this is tincture in a jar, which you can also buy online from certain companies. They'll offer you the ability to make your own tincture in a jar. So in here, I have the formula for exacta, and in here, I have the formula for trifecta, already blended, already ready to go. All you have to do is add some oils. That's it, or the person you're giving it to as a gift. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but a lot of like how I came up with all of this stuff was like in order to give it to someone else. How do I make this simple and easy and effective and give it to someone else? So with this tincture in a jar, it's already got all the cannabinoids in it. It's already got all the flowers. All they have to do is measure out 2 ounces of oil to put in here, and it will make 2 ounces of tincture. Sorry. And they probably don't have an Ardent effects like I have over here. Oh, good. You can see it. It's in the frame. And, but they could put it in their oven at 150 for, an hour and then squeeze it out. And that's that. They've done it. So it's a nice gift. It's also an easy way to kind of like do things for yourself. For example, I love the Ardent effects. Check out what I've got inside. It's called the lifter. So you want to save time. Here's trifecta and exacta in the lifter at the same time. Let's pretend I put oil into both of them at the same time. Can I just say double, making a mini Canna-Kit together at once in the Ardent, press infuse, no smells, walk away, watch a Hallmark movie. Is it just me? Is it just me who likes Hallmark movies? Grab your mighty, kick up your feet, come back in 90 minutes. The Ardent effects cycle lasts for 3 hours. This is something that you'll see in a lot of reviews that's a little bit, in my opinion, misinterpreted. The Ardent effects infusion cycle lasts 3 hours at maximum, but you can stop it at any time. And cannabis is typically infused after like 90 minutes, 40, I don't know, an hour. So you can stop and you can go and grab it. You don't have to wait for the infusion cycle to be over, which is what these other reviewers who don't know that are like, I don't know, it's taking forever. It's taking 3 hours for my stuff to infuse. It's because it's flexible and it's up to you. All right, I'm going to check the chat. How clever is yeah, thank you so much, you guys. I'm glad you think this is clever. And I am glad you think it's genius because like it's all yours now. I'm here to share these ideas, not hoard them to myself. and to provide a community, leading a community, leadership to my community, and people who want to make this stuff. So that's what we offer in Homemade Health, is not just the formulas. I mean, hello, you can figure this out. It's not hard. I have videos about it. Not just the how-to of it all, and maybe even list of resources, because honestly, you can go visit my website, Canna-Coaching.com, or MichelleCrawfordCoaching.com if you can't spell Canna-Curious. And look at my resources page and shop from there and get all the stuff and all the discounts. What do you want? What's Homemade Health for then? We'll just ask some of my students. What's Homemade Health for? It's for the community. It's for the getting together of it. It's for the real, actual accountability group of people who are doing it, inspiring you to do it, and kind of kicking your ass if you haven't done it. Like, oh, what are you waiting for? You haven't opened your source yet. I opened my source last week. Ha ha ha. And then that will make you do it, right? We need this, people. We need community. We won't become healers. We won't make medicine if we don't have other friends who also make medicine with us. If we don't feel like it's, helping everybody and that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. And at Homemade Health, you can be. And it's beautiful and fun. And I will be your leader and teacher, and you can learn all of this amazing stuff from me and more, right? Okay, we're finally here. Dosing math. It doesn't even matter. I keep saying it. The cannabis police are going to get me, aren't they, you guys? Aren't they? I can feel it. I'm like a little worried. Are they coming? Are they coming to get me? All right, here it is. Cannabis dosing math doesn't even matter, because I have like something to show you here. Because I'll just give it to you in the end and then I'll explain everything. It doesn't matter because you have to self-titrate. You have to try the medicine yourself and start low and go slow. And everybody is going to land at a different place with the medicine. Here's another reason why the dosing doesn't matter. So, and to illustrate that little point, let me just tell a quick story, then I'll give another reason. The story is from one of my really good friends and fellow cannabis coaches, JJ, who I've interviewed on my channel. She's overcome her cancer. She's totally a survivor, and I fucking love her. JJ makes her own RSO. She makes her own tinctures. She's amazing. And one time she made a batch of her own tinctures, which she was taking, and she was feeling like they just weren't as effective. She was taking the same dose, and it was like, this isn't working. And it turned out, and so she started taking more, like more and more, and doubling it until finally she felt right again. Guess what? She had made her recipe half as potent. And what happened? She self-titrated into her dose at the end. And so everybody pretty much has to do that no matter what the dosage is on the product. And here's where we come to point 2. I've really been in this for a while, and some of the biggest questions that you'll get from communities that care about cannabis, especially people who are growing at home and stuff, is, the question of making cannabis medicines with unknown, untested, potency unknown cannabis. Let's get to the teaching part here. All right, look at me. I brought, did you guys see this? I brought a thing. Oh gosh. Well, I'll just read it and I'll just kind of like stand here and do the motions. Let's talk it through. Average cannabis that you grow at home, untested, and you're making medicine out of it. How do I know about this problem? Gee, I don't know. Maybe I was living it. Go check out my podcast with my husband, Keep Growing, where we talk about the 9 years that we've been growing cannabis and really not having it tested and not knowing, through testing its potency. But guess what? I've done really well with this. And why? Because of averages. Let's talk about it. Oh God, I'm kind of scared. I'm here for it. Total game changer. Woo! All right, you guys. Average cannabis that you grow at home, all of it in the world, is basically going to usually come out to about 15% potency. Fast, easy, quick, no math. Just put a 0 on the end of that. That means that every gram of it, let's look at a gram of cannabis. Here's a gram with like a bunch of fan leaves attached to it. Each gram of cannabis is going to be 150 milligrams of whatever, THC, CBD, whatever it is. Okay? So this is the way plants grow. You can trust these numbers. These are averages that you can trust. Now, do you live in a legal state and you're buying from the dispo? The thing about the dispensaries is they barely even sell cannabis that's under 20% on average. And if you buy cannabis from a dispensary, it's labeled with the potency. But here's the thing, between 15 and 20%, there's almost no difference in DIYing with it. That 5% of potency just makes such a fractional change in the end that it's not that like it rounds up and down. So really, this is like the same thing. This is like the same thing until you double it, until you get to 25 and 30% cannabis, potency cannabis. All right, I know you can't really even see this, but it basically just says average cannabis is 15% potency, and that means it's 150 milligrams per gram. Average dispensary cannabis is about 20% potency on average. I mean, obviously, they're going to sell you that 30 and crazy 40%. That's not even really possible. The plant doesn't even have 40% of its ability to make 40% of it cannabinoids. You know, a lot of it has to go to like stem, stalk, leaf matter. It can't, it's just hilarious, which is 200 milligrams per gram. Okay. So what happens when we put 2 grams together? That's 300 milligrams. And basically in an ounce of oil, that means you're going to get 10 milligrams per gram. And why is that good to know? Well, if you just memorize that, like 2 grams will give me in an ounce of oil, 10 milligrams. That's like pretty much like what people are used to working with when it comes to edibles. They're like, oh, I get this dropper out and it's going to be, it's going to be 10 milligrams. That's so awesome. The other thing that I think is really useful is when each drop is 1 milligram of medicine, and you get that just by doubling it. So 4 grams of cannabis. The magic numbers are 2 grams of cannabis and 4 grams of cannabis. And it's funny because if it's 15% or 20%, it basically works out the same. So you can get pretty much any dispo cannabis that's not too high THC or too high whatever, and you can basically grow any cannabis, and you're going to be really good with those 2 numbers in making a tincture at 1 ounce. Okay, so you kind of have to remember this, but if you buy bottles and you make tinctures and it's part of your routine and this is the only thing you make, then you just understand this. It's like it starts to become very routine. For example, Alex has a whole different system where she just counts the number of suppository chips that she makes and puts those into her formula because it's already all like the process handles the math for you. I'm going to just go into this last part that concentrates on average. I really learned a lot about this. So I bought so many concentrates over the years that I realized finally after doing math with them again and again and again that they are 700 milligrams on average because the efficiency of getting concentrates is 60 to 80%. So basically you're going to have 600 or 800 to up to 800 milligrams per gram of these kinds of concentrates. I hope you're following me here. The truth is, so that again, we're just going to use the power of averages. Oh, on average, cannabis FICO is 750 milligrams. Okay, great. So the thing is about that is if you put this into an ounce of oil, guess what? You are hitting the numbers for 600, 700, the numbers for each drop to be a milligram. So if you put this, like half of this into 1 ounce, then you're going to like get the 10 milligram thing. You know, you have to come to Homemade Health. It's too hard for me to tell you all in one go, but here's the gist of it all. You don't really need to do math. There are a couple of magic numbers that will make your DIY, if you make Canna-Kits and the things that I teach you, super easy. And then you're not thinking about math anymore and you're not really worried about it anymore. It takes practice and you sort of have to accept this, but I already have students that love it. And it takes the burden off of having to calculate each time because here's what I'll tell you. It's not like I did the math so many times and came out with the same numbers so many times, so you don't have to. Okay? Basically, this stuff is it's just going to hold because these are sort of like laws of nature. And like I said, in the end, it doesn't matter. I would be willing to take any medicine of cannabis and try it and even help people use it, even if it was completely unknown. Why? Because we would just start with a tiny amount and titrate ourselves up or down. And that's the way that you have to handle it anyway. So you'll find out, things can happen even with store-bought medicine. Things can happen with medicine you make at home. You might make a mistake and be like, oh no, it's half as potent, just like JJ. And guess what? You will just take more. And then the next time around, you'll figure it out and probably make it the right potency. All right. So isn't that interesting? I hope that made sense to you. It is so easy to work with concentrates. I see video after video on YouTube that really supports this. I know Andrea on Reveal Cannabis has one where she's making like infused butter. And what's so great about it, using concentrates, and why I want everybody to be less afraid of using them, making them, buying them, and DIYing with them, is their potency is known. It's either known because you bought it from the dispensary, but even if you made it at home from your own homegrown flowers that you've never had tested, I guarantee you that the potency is going to be between 600 and 800 milligrams on average. So you can just decide that it's 700 milligrams and go on your merry way. Take it, put it in some butter, and then take that and put it into your recipe. You know what I mean? Like, they're just trust it, and you'll do great, and you'll be more empowered, because I hate to see people get hung up on the dosing math. I really do. Start low, go slow, understand that your body's going to respond to the medicine, and it's going to take time to figure out your dosage. And don't be afraid as a DIYer to, trust your instincts. And, so remember, or rewind and watch this thing again. All right, I'm going to check the chat. I'm going to see what's going on. Oh my gosh. Okay. You saved us from the evil weed math. You rock. Thanks, Melanie. I appreciate you so much. It is evil. I hate people getting caught up and stopped by it, stymied, stuck, right? Forget it. Averages. Go forward. Oh, Renee. That's so sweet. People are awesome. People are so awesome. Game changer. This is definitely going to make my life so much easier explaining this math to people. Yeah, you do have to practice. I will tell you right now that the math, it makes my heart palpitate. I really do think sometimes that the cannabis police are going to come and get me. All right, everyone. I think it's time for the outro. The outro. What should we talk about tomorrow? Did you know that I've had a request to talk about cannabis and sex? Is anyone interested in that topic and talking about it with me, Michelle Crawford, Better Sex with Cannabis, creator of the Love Yourself Suppositories Guide? Let me know in the chat if you think, yeah, I'd show up for that. I want to hear a little bit more about Better Sex with Cannabis with Michelle Crawford. I see movement in the chat, so it's pretty exciting. Oh, and if you haven't checked out my Rep Your State of Mind awesome t-shirt, these are available now at repyourstateofmind.com for you to wear and look awesome in, just like me. It's got the flattering, it's a unisex shirt, but with a flattering V neckline, and it's got the awesome rainbow leaf. And I think it says what I'm thinking quite stylishly. Don't you? Yeah. All right, we're at 290, halfway to the buzz. Let's see what it says. Yes, please. Weed Lube, baby. Hell yeah. Love you, MC. Oh, thank you, guys. Let's learn to marinate properly. Yeah, we do need to have proper marinating, honestly. I don't know if you cook meats, but I do. And yeah, marinating is really important. Get that salt on there. Love the V-neck. Thank you so much. It's also available in white. My bestie has it in white, and she wore it to her workout. I think I have a picture of her on the IG page for Rep Your State of Mind, looking sexy and sweaty in it. Woo, woo. There's the buzz, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight or this afternoon for you. I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about how to make Canna-Kits and everything fun that we do in homemade health, and even about my math and my you don't even need it, my attitude about dosing math. You don't even need it. Cheers. Check out that Wonder Woman eyeshadow. And everybody, find your inner Wonder Woman, and I'll see you tomorrow at 3. And I guess we're going to talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that could be. We'll talk about cannabis and sex. Bye.